18th, 2023. Tonight, we're going to pull out pacifier number 3. The atheists love to believe there's no God and believe in evolution, and it's all because of pacifiers, which have nothing to offer. We'll talk about that in a minute. So come join us. We're on Rumble. We're on a bunch of different programs. Go to drdino.com, and you can see the list of where all you can find us. A couple of them still on YouTube. And Matt is still working on fighting the YouTube ban. They never told us why and never paid the money. So, yeah, be praying about that. Okay. Join our 777 Club. Help us stay open for free. See, I like what they're doing. I want to support them. Make any checks to CSE, Creation Science Evangelism. Let's see. We did that one. PhoenixEngine.com. Builds engines for muscle cars. You want to really get going? I need one of those in my Honda, don't I? Yeah. Man. Okay. Anyway, call Randy. Thank him for supporting us and order a 1,500 horsepower engine for your wife's car. She'll be excited when she gets in, hits the gas. Let's see. Creation Seminar Series, you can get that $50 for the whole thing. Or our Whoa series, what on earth is about to happen, about what the Bible teaches about the future. Get that at extension 1 or 2. No, extension 2, I don't know who does that. I'm 3, don't call me, I don't know how to order the stuff. Okay. Let's see, subscribe to the channel, like us, tell other people about us. And come visit our ministry at Dinosaur Adventureland, straight north of Pensacola, 70 miles, just off I-65, right there in the itty-bitty town of Lenox, Alabama, where God gets the glory instead of the stupid evolution religion. People say there's evidence for evolution and there's mechanisms for evolution. Dan and all the rest of you guys, there's no evidence for evolution at all. It's a dumb religion. Give it up, okay? Didn't happen. Pacifiers do not provide any nourishment for the baby. They only provide a false sense of security. Evolutionists have many empty pacifiers they suck on, hoping to find nourishment. They're empty, fellas, sorry. Suck harder. Maybe it'll start working. No, it's not going to work. New York Times. Stephen Weinberg said, anything that we scientists can do to weaken the hold of religion should be done. Really? What's wrong with religion, Stephen? You think nobody made this world? Just made itself? One by one, we're going to pull out the pacifiers the atheists suck on for evidence for their religion, and it is a religion. Listen to them scream when they can't have their passy. I know. Pull to sound alarm. I love that one. Mutant. There we go. Get the evolutionist, put a little strap on the passy, make sure they can't pull it out of there. By far, the biggest pacifier evolutionists suck on is time. They require billions of years. This one gives them a false sense of security. I'm sorry, fellas, there is no evidence for evolution. This one alone is enough to stop evolution, take away time, which we can do easily, and it makes them scream the loudest when you pull it. When you ask them, how on earth can a single-celled creature turn to whales, humans, birds, fish, they'll say, give it enough time. It's always their answer. Over billions of years, it'll happen. They think this will solve the problem. Now, let's see where I want to go, right? National Pornographic, millions of years ago. They think they make these stupid trees of life as if everything is related back to a common ancestor, which is dumb, guys, real dumb, dumb. Humans came from a coral. Let's see. Oh, yeah, the sponges. It came from a sponge. Yeah, here's Grandpa right here. SpongeBob. Yeah, that's their theory. I didn't make it up. You guys make the dumb charts. Don't blame me. This one has protozoa turning to biology teacher. I see. It's a fairy tale. But the thing that makes it become science in their brain is time. Billions of years. There's Grandpa right there. Jellyfish. Wow. Okay. None of these lines on paper are science. It's all taken by faith to have happened over billions of years. The humans are related to the fern. Yep. Second one we pulled out is mutations. Sorry, mutations are not going to cause any evolution. But this is essential to their religion because that original single-celled creature had to have a mutation and turn into something else. So far, all we've ever seen is animals produce the same kind. Cows produce cows, amoeba produce amoeba. Nobody's ever seen anything other than that. I'd be willing to bet $5 every one of you have parents that were human. And grandparents. Yeah, probably even, should I go as far, Rex? Great-grandparents to go that far? Maybe, okay. But now number 3, mutations. Number 2, mutations. Mutations are not going to provide any evidence for evolution. It's just not going to happen. I'm sorry, they're going to scream loudly. So let's go to slide 43. There's what I'm looking for. No matter how numerous they may be, mutations do not produce any kind of evolution. All they do is rearrange existing information. They do not increase any genetic complexity. It doesn't happen, guys. Sorry, baby, you can't have time, pacifier. to help you believe in evolution. There isn't enough time. And even time wouldn't help. Things get worse with time. Even if I gave you billions of years, that makes it worse for your theory, not better. You can't have mutations. And you can't have fossils. Sorry. Evidence of evolution from fossils. Fossil evidence of evolution, really. Let's see. Berkeley.edu. Fossil evidence, understanding evolution. The fossil record provides snapshots of the past, which, when assembled, illustrate a panorama of evolutionary change over the past 3.5 billion years. This is pure propaganda. I'm sorry. You cannot have fossils. They don't do anything. See, the Bible teaches very clearly, before the flood came, the people lived to be 900 years old. Read Genesis chapter 5. It couldn't be more clear. Adam was 930, Methuselah 969. Something was different on this planet. They were living to be 900. Before the flood, not only were they living longer, I think they were growing bigger. Most of the creatures were. This was not millions of years ago. This started 6,000 years ago and ended with the flood about 4,400 years ago. That's the time frame when everything was big. Fossils, we have hundreds of them in our museum in there. Let's see, petrified clam in the closed position. Boy, that's interesting. Had to be buried alive for that to happen, didn't it? Yeah, I think so. We'll talk about this in just a minute, okay? Fossils only verify the Bible story of a worldwide flood. They show us that things were bigger in the past and billions of life forms died quickly and were buried quickly before they could rot. That's what fossils show us. How many animals died today in the world, would you guess? Hundreds of millions. How many are going to turn to fossils? None. Textbooks teach we started smaller like a chimp and slowly got bigger and smarter till we became a man. Isn't this typical propaganda downloaded today off the internet? Yeah. Let's see, we got 15 million years ago, slowly got bigger, better, stronger, smarter, bigger brain. We're so smart now we think we came from an amoeba. Yeah. Bible says there were giants in the earth in those days. So what's the truth here? Robert Wadlow was almost 9 feet tall, 8 foot 11 and a half. I was preaching at a church in the town where he grew up outside of St. Louis, and two ladies, older ladies in the church said, yeah, we went to school with Robert. He was a great guy. We loved Robert. He was a good kid. Older ladies in this church I spoke at said he was really tall. Yeah, I guess he was. But they found, here's a drawing of a skeleton found in a coal mine in Italy that was 11 feet 6 inches tall. A skeleton 9 foot 8 inches tall, recovered from a stone burial mound in Brewersville, Indiana. Let's see. In Virginia, he saw 2 skeletons 9 feet tall. Well, Joe Taylor just died here recently, sadly, at Mount Blanco Museum. I don't know who's taking that over, but if you want to go take over a good creation museum and use it for the Lord, get a hold of them in Crosbyton, Texas, all right? But he's got a book about giants against evolution. That book's in here somewhere. Rex, can you see it right? I have to get 10,000 books in here, never mind. Let's see. The Daily Town Talk in 1902, whoa, 120 years ago. Buried beneath heavy layers of shell, some 30 miles below the city of Shreveport, Mr. Clay found huge bones, similar in every respect to a man's, were found embedded in thick layers of clamshells. As many as a score, 20 skeletons were found intact. Every skeleton was fully 9 feet high. Boy, I bet that evidence got buried again quickly because it goes against the theory. A skeleton nearly 10 feet tall found in Humboldt Lake, Nevada, 1931. Legends from Guam tell of giant ancestors that built the latte stones that are found there. Who on earth built these giant rocks? Carved them, whatever. Yeah. Walkertown, Indiana. A group of amateur archaeologists opened a mound in 1925 and unearthed the skeletons of 8 giants ranging from 8 to 9 feet long, wearing heavy copper armor. Wait. I thought ancient man was smaller and we're getting bigger. I think the fossils indicate they were bigger. Yeah. Through the bungling of the diggers and the disinterest of the museum establishment, the discoveries were scattered and lost. Why would a museum not be interested in 9-foot skeletons? It goes against their religion. That's why. 1616, Dutch explorers stumbled upon a pair of skeletons more than 9 feet tall. They named the area Patagonia, which means big feet. Yeah. Skeleton 12 feet tall, found by soldiers in Lompoc Rancho, California, The remains were reburied due to objections by local Indians. They disturbed a grave. Okay, let's see. 12 feet tall, reported by many papers in Tucson, Arizona, 1891. The man had 6 toes, long hair, and a bird-shaped headdress. Let's see. Here's the Scientific American in 1877. Tell about finding a giant from knee to heel. They measured 39 inches. From the knee to the heel, that means the owner was over 12 feet tall. Well, see, Christians don't have a problem with this kind of, we don't have to hide it or to destroy the evidence. It fits the Bible perfectly fine. 2 other, male and female, 9'4" and 8 foot, others 10 feet tall. This is back when Scientific American wasn't controlled by atheists and evolutionists and had to lie about their dumb religion all the time, okay? A skull almost twice the size of a normal human skull was found. Strange. Our friends told us how when they came to this country and how they had settled themselves there, how it came that notwithstanding their vicinity to the Mexican Aztecs, they resembled each other so little and lived in perpetual warfare with each other. The tradition also handed down from their forefathers that of ancient times there lived a race of men and women who were of immense stature with heavy bones. Very bad, evil disposed people, whom they had for the greater part exterminated by continual warfare, and the few that were left gradually died away. In order to give us a notion of the huge frame of this people, they dragged forth a bone, or rather a thigh bone, of one of these giants, which was very strong and measured the length of a man of good stature. This bone was still entire from knee to the hip joint. I measured it by my own person and found it to be my own length. That's what the guy said, the explorer. Although I'm a man of considerable height. They showed us many similar pieces of bones, but they were all worm-eaten and decayed. We, however, did not doubt for an instant that this country was once inhabited by giants. Cortez observed that we ought to forward these bones to His Majesty in Spain at the first opportunity. Here's the mummified head of an Inca king, 9.5 feet tall. Wow. 7 examples of proof that giants existed by Chris Thompson. Skeletal remains up to really big. See, you atheists think fossils are help for your theory. No, I'm sorry. We're going to pull that pacifier out tonight. New York giants. 1871, archaeological dig in Native American burial ground unearthed 200 giant skeletons, some measuring up to 9 feet tall. It was estimated the remains could have been up to 9,000 years old. At the time the discovery, these remains were widely reported in the media, but today the remains have disappeared. Somebody hid it because it went against their theory. Giant footprints. South Africa. It was found 100 years ago by a hunter, and locals named it the footprint of God. The print is 1.2 meters long. It's 4.5 feet. If the rest of the body was sized to proportion, the guy would have been 24 to 27 feet tall. That's a pretty good sized footprint. That's fake. I know you don't believe in anything because evolution's true. We're getting better, right? Okay. Let's see. Giants of Death Valley. 1931, a physician by the name of Bruce Russell discovered some caves and tunnels in Death Valley, decided to explore them. You can read about the article. Get that reference for you in this book right here. 7 examples of proof that giants existed. Get it for yourself, right? Many wonderful things are told of this famous people. They are said to have been remarkably tall and stout. There's a tradition that there were giants among them, people of a much larger size than the tallest of the Lenape. The Lenape Indians moved from the west to the Mississippi. Lenape sent out their scouts across the broad current. James Jones, another writer of the time, relates the occasion of the safe return of these spies for the Lenape, having reconnoitered the eastern side of the Mississippi. They told they had found the further bank of the River of Fish, which is what they used to call the Mississippi, inhabited by a very powerful people who dwelt in great villages surrounded by high walls. They were very tall, so tall that the head of the tallest Lenape could not reach their arms. And their women were of higher stature and heavier limbs than the loftiest and largest man in the Confederate nations. They were called the Allegui, and were men delighting in red and black paint and the shrill war whoop and the strife of the spear. Such was the relation made by the spies to their countrymen. David Cusick, a Tuscarora by birth, writes in 1825 that there was a powerful tribe called the big long name there. They were giants and had a considerable habitation. He says when the Great Spirit made the people, some of them became giants. The giants were said to have a silly mode of attack, waiting until their intended victim was not expecting anything. After a time, and having endured the outrages of these giants, it said the people banded together and through the final force of about 800 warriors successfully annihilated these people. Oh. This was supposed to have happened 2,500 winters before Columbus discovered America. It'd be about 1000 BC. Let's see. Here we have North Dakota, right here outside Bismarck, North Dakota. Some of you North Dakotans watching this, check this out for me. From where the Mengwi are thought to have come from before they joined the Lenni, from the region of the Mississippi source, confluence at the Dakota, Missouri. We have this, let's see, 2 miles from Mandan, North Dakota. On the bluffs near the junction of the Hart and Missouri River, says the local newspaper back in 1883, the Pioneer, is an old cemetery of 100 acres filled with bones of a giant race. This vast city of the dead lies just east of Fort Lincoln Road. The ground has the appearance of being filled with trenches piled full of dead bodies, both man and beast, and covered with several feet of earth. This has evidently been a grand battlefield where thousands of men have fallen. Nothing like a systematic or intelligent exploration has been made, and only little holes 2 or 3 feet in depth have been dug in some of the mounds. But many parts of the anatomy of man and beast and beautiful specimens of broken pottery and other curiosities have been found in these feeble efforts. 5 miles above Mandan, on the opposite side of the Missouri, is another vast cemetery as yet unexplored. I wonder what happened up there. Maybe somebody can do some checking for me. Let's see. In Seneca Township, 1872, one of the numerous Indian mounds that abound in the neighborhood, this particular one was locally known as the Bates Mound. Upon being dug into, it was found to contain a few broken pieces of earthenware, a lot of flint heads, and 1 or 2 stone implements, and the remains of 3 skeletons, whose size would indicate they measured in life at least 8 feet in height. The remarkable feature is they had double teeth in front as well as in back of the mouth, and in both upper and lower jaws. Upon exposure to the atmosphere, they crumbled back to the earth. In cultivating the soil in the vicinity, implements have been found. Excavating the ground for graves is said to have bones to have been exhumed, which seem to have belonged to a race of giants. This land at one time belonged to Mr. Peleg Sweet, who was a man of large size and full features, and it's narrated that at one time he, in digging, came upon a skull and jaw, which were of such a size that the skull would cover his head, and the jaw could easily be slipped over his face, as though the head of a giant were enveloping his face. Okay. Right up here, this is what the giant bone stone found in Lebanon. Who is moving these giant stones? That's a camel down there. Who would be carving and moving these? Here's an axe head that weighs 39 pounds. Here's a 27-pound stone axe head found in Manitoba. Now hold it. We're telling the kids, this guy brought it down to Dinosaur Adventureland when I was in Pensacola. There's a stone designed to be held between the thumb and forefinger, a chipping stone. Who's using that? Smithsonian used to publish a lot of this stuff 150 years ago. Lovelock Cave, Nevada, 1911. In the Humboldt Museum of Winnemucca, Nevada. There's a normal human thumb bone next to a giant human thumb bone. Ron Wyatt died a couple of years ago. He was a friend of mine. I think his son, Richard Reeves, David Reeves, that took over, might have that still. That's a big thumb bone. That would make his cubit a little bigger, wouldn't it? How big was that ark anyway? God said, build it by your cubit. What if Noah was 9 feet tall? Would have been a big boat. Anyway, thigh bone replica, we've got that in our museum here. Come see it at Pensacola, where am I at? Lenox, Alabama. Giant skeleton found in Turkey. The guy would have been 16 feet tall. See, Christians don't have a problem with this. You atheists who suck on mutations and fossils as evidence for evolution, it's not giving you anything, guys. There's no evidence for evolution from fossils. Sorry. There's a bone replica from a giant in Turkey. Let's see, that's what the guy would have looked like. Non-petrified human jaw bones. Wow. 3.5 inches across. Race of giants lived here. Skeletons of mammoth human race unearthed in the county. Lake Nokobe in northeast Wisconsin. One skull was found 3 times the size of ordinary humans. The largest dragonfly appears to be the giant pettitail from northeastern Australia. There's some argument about this. The giant petal tail has a wingspan of approximately 6.3 inches. That's a big dragonfly. 6-inch dragonfly. The largest dragonfly, 6.5 inches, okay. The largest dragonfly discovered as a fossil had a wingspan of 710 millimeters. That's 28 inches. Now hold it. Dragonflies today, the biggest one is 6 inches, and they find fossil 28-inch dragonflies? You guys think fossils help your theory of evolution? Guys, this helps the creation story. Everything was bigger before the flood came. They find fossil bees nearly as big as a hummingbird. How'd you like to hit that at 70 miles an hour? Fossil ants 2 inches long have been found. That's a big ant. Yeah. Fossil spiders 2 inches long with 12-inch leg span have been found. Fossil beavers 8 feet long. 8-foot beaver. Okay? Beaver jaw. We got a replica of an 8-foot beaver jaw in our museum here. Come on down. Giant beaver, 7 feet long, 220 pounds. There's a giant beaver jaw next to today's beaver jaw. You guys think fossils help the evolution theory? Fossil beavers 8 feet long. Huh. Here's Jim Erb in Wisconsin. I met back, 25 years ago. He found the jaw of a 7 or 8-foot beaver. Beaver skull from Ohio that was 6, indicating the beaver was 6 feet long. Giant platypus fossil unearthed. Platypus zilla, the ancient ancestor of today's platypus, was thought to be 1 meter in length, 39.37 inches. Big bird. Experts unveil skull of a giant duck with teeth and the wingspan of a family car. That's a big duck. Yeah. Computer-generated image of a giant duck with a 16-foot wingspan. Well, fossil dogs have been found that were much larger than today's dogs. In prehistory, dogs may have been larger. Based on fossil evidence, the wild beast was estimated to weigh 1,347 pounds. That's a big dog. How'd you like to have that dog food bill? Yeah, okay. Giant bone-crushing dog. All you got to do is Google this stuff, folks. It doesn't take much time at all to figure out. A lot of animals have been found as fossils that are bigger than today. The rise and fall of America's fossil dogs. How about a frog the size of a beach ball? Called Beelzebufo. That's a big frog. That's from National Science Foundation. And they believe in evolution. But they admit there were giant frogs back then. Today, they're a whole lot smaller. Frog as big as a cat. Fossil cockroaches that were huge have been found. Fossil snakes, 45 feet long. Titanoboa fossil vertebra showed it was a whopping 42 feet long. By comparison, the largest verified record of a living snake is 10 meters long. Would that be 33 and a half, 34 feet, okay? Titanoboa. There's a big buffalo skull. Prehistoric skull belonged to an extinct giant buffalo. Believed to date back, here it goes, 150,000 years. No, guys, this is from the flood. Joe Taylor had one in his museum. I got to find out what's going on with that. Fossil buffalo horns have been found to have a 12-foot span. Huh, that's a big buffalo. Really big. Much bigger than today. So why are you guys telling us fossils help your theory of evolution? Scientists identified the fossil of a giant bird that lived 50 million years ago, had a wingspan up to 21 feet. That's a big bird. Are fossils showing evolution? No, they're showing things were bigger. New fossils, the largest non-marine turtle ever lived, have been discovered in Colombia. The biggest complete turtle shell ever found, 2.4 meter long carapace, more than twice the size of the largest living turtle, the leatherback. Huh. Famous fish within a fish fossil. Huge, what's how you pronounce that? Ziphanchitinus, whatever. Swallowed a monster fish head first before dying. Let's see. It was an extinct genus of large, 15 to 20 foot long predatory bony fish. That's a big fish. We're going to put one of them in our lake. Yeah, it'd be cool. Okay. Let's see. The extinct fish, thought to be the largest on record, grew at least 16 meters in length, weighed 45 metric tons, larger than today's whale shark. It's a big fish. ScienceMag.org. That's 54 feet. Uh-huh. The largest recorded giant salamander, almost 6 feet. That's a big salamander. Animal was caught in South China. Historically, this animal has been interpreted as a specimen of some Latin name there, okay? 5.9 feet is the largest salamander, almost 6 foot. It's a big salamander. Science magazine says they find fossil salamanders that were even bigger than that. Giant ancient amphibian bigger than a human. Wow. More than 2 meters long, 6 foot 7 inches. Today, salamanders figure usually around 5 to 8 inches. How come fossils show they were bigger? Salamanders over 6 feet long. Prehistoric giant rhino was taller than a giraffe. That's a big rhinoceros. Isn't it? 3.8 foot long head and, let's see, fossil trees approaching the height of the tallest redwoods have been found in Thailand. The longest petrified log was 237 feet, which suggests the original tree was 330 feet. Guys, fossils are not helping your evolution story at all. They're not helping. Fossils are evidence of rapid burial and much bigger lifespan, life forms before. Okay, let's see, what was this one? Largest plant fern fossil, 13 feet. That's a big fern. Siberian unicorn walked the earth with humans. Ancient giant rhinoceros, Siberian unicorn. Wow. That's a big one. We need one of those here for the kids to play with. Fossil rhinoceros, much bigger. See, before the flood came, the Bible indicates there was water above the firmament. And it says clearly the firmament is where the birds fly. That's the air. There used to be a layer of water, probably ice, a couple inches thick, surrounding the whole world. I believe in what's called the canopy theory. I think it answers all the questions. It's gone now. We can't prove it to you. But the Bible talks about it, and ancients talked about it. The Jews said there was a canopy of ice over the world 3 fingers thick. How did they know that? I don't know. Giant rabbits have been found. Rabbits were huge in the past, much bigger than today. Let's see. Ancient 14-foot tall camel. Now they find sharks that are pretty good size. This was given to me from a shark that was caught, I think, in the Gulf of Mexico, if I recall. I don't remember the number. I think it was 8 feet long, the shark was. You can see the teeth are maybe, half inch, okay? They find fossil shark teeth, indicating sharks used to be much bigger. Much bigger. That's a big shark. The great white shark grows to 20 feet. Carcharodon megalodon, 65 million years ago, grew to more than 40 feet. Well, I thought you guys said fossils support evolution. How come they're smaller today? Megalodon was not only the biggest shark in the world, it was the largest fish to ever exist, 15 to 18 meters long. Wow, times 3.3, you can figure that out yourself. It's 50 to 60 feet long, 49 to 59 feet. Cockroaches, 3.5 inches, found in Ohio. It's a big cockroach. Kangaroos, 10 feet tall. Largest animals that ever lived on Earth. Giant prehistoric ground marsupial. Wow, 1,000 pounds. 41,000 years ago. Oh, yeah, okay. Giant prehistoric kangaroo compared to modern species. What's going on here? A remarkable cache of prehistoric marsupial remains, including giant lions, 10 feet tall, kangaroos and wombat the size of a mini, was unearthed in remote caves in the Australian outback. 10 giant animals that are long since dead from BBC. Let's see. Earth's distant past, many animals grew much larger than they do today, from monster millipedes to titanic sharks. The biggest prehistoric mammals, South America. Giant elk. Today we call it the Irish elk. Let's see, 12 feet across, big antlers. weighed about 90 pounds. Giant oxen or cows, the O'Rourke. Modern cattle have become much smaller than their wild ancestors. The height of a large domesticated cow is about 5 foot. O'Rourke's were about 5 foot 5.5 or 5.75 feet. What happened here? Let's see. The shoulder height was around 15 feet. The length, 24 feet. This is a giant rhinoceros. Ancient rhinoceros, 26 million years ago, weighed 21 tons. That's as much as 4 large African elephants. That's a big rhino. Now, you guys are claiming fossils are evidence for evolution. Rhinoceros, 18 feet tall, University of Nebraska Museum. There's a Argentavis magnificens, wingspan, 7.5 meters. That's 24 feet. 24-foot wingspan. Big bird. Fossil eggs have been found. I should have brought ours in. We've got one here, a fossil egg that is this big. Let's see. Giant penguin fossil found in the tropics. Huge penguins. Well, interesting. Penguins used to be bigger? Oh, yeah. See, probably almost everything was bigger before the flood came. Giants of the sky, the Quetzalcoatl's. Man, what's that, a 10-meter wingspan, 33 feet? Guys, what happened? How come there's no birds like that today? Huh? That's a pretty good-sized crocodile, 20 foot 3 inch. Let's see, officially certified in Guinness Book of Records, the world's largest crocodile, 20 feet 3 inch. That's a big crocodile. They find fossil crocodiles 32 feet. Now, guys, your evolution theory doesn't hold up here. Here they are digging up fossil trees. That's the one in Thailand, 330 feet long. Pretty good size. Fossil rats. More than 60 species of rat, which means they come in all sizes. They're typically 5 inches. Okay, that's typical rat. But they find fossil rats that are much larger. Let's see, the northern Luzon giant cloud rat. Biggest one, 2.5 feet. Now, wait. What's the biggest rat today? 5 inches. Fossil rats, 2.5 feet. 1-ton rat discovered in Uruguay. How'd you like to get rid of those? A 1-ton rat. Centipede. Current Guinness World Record for the largest centipede is 10 inches. They find fossils that are 8 feet long. What's going on here? Fossils of just about everything have been found that are gigantic. A distant relative of modern millipedes and centipedes measuring 3 meters long, 10 feet long. Come on, guys. What's going on with your religion? It's not holding up to the facts, is it? They grew so large because of a high concentration of oxygen. Oh, well, we covered that on video number 2. Why did they live to be 900? The canopy theory, okay? 8-foot centipede fossil. Whoa, that's a big one. Not only were people bigger and living longer, everything was bigger. 8-foot centipede. Cockroaches that are huge. Grasshoppers that are 2 feet long have been found fossilized. Make a meal out of them, yeah. Giant tarantula spiders have been found. Cattail fossils 60 feet long have been found. Giant donkey 9 feet high excavated in Lubbock, Texas. Giant sloths that lived before the flood. Giant elk. Giant wombat the size of a mini. I wish you atheists would understand. I know you're sucking on that pacifier fossils awful hard. It doesn't support your theory. Maximum height 13 foot. That's a big bird. There's our elephant bird egg in our museum here. Let's see, giant gander found in Australia. A prehistoric giant goose stood as tall as an elephant and weighed up to half a ton. That's a big one. They find fossil ducks as big as a horse. See, before the flood came, things were different. Things were bigger. After the flood, things changed. Biggest pterosaur. Like all reptiles, it grows throughout all its life. Reptiles never stop growing. So before the flood came, when they could live to be 800 or 900, they would get to be ginormous. That's the age of giant everything. Dinosaurs were big lizards that lived with Adam and Eve. We covered that on video number 3 of the Science of Creation seminar series. Get the whole series. 18 hours, me talking as fast as I can go with 10 million slides. Video 3 is about dinosaurs. The whole thing's $50. When you're done, you can send it back, get your money back. Can't beat a deal like that. I used to loan my videos out. I learned right away Baptists don't steal, but they do borrow and never return. Right? That's all. Okay. 16 animals that are living fossils. Read the article for yourself from Tree Hugger. So what do fossils actually show us? They show us something died. They show us it was buried quickly before it rotted. They're often recognizable as being the same as plant or animal that's alive today. So nothing much has changed. That's what fossils show. Let's see. Trilobites, kind of like a roly-poly. How many have seen those things? They roll up in a little ball. They find fossil trilobites that are ginormous. Things were bigger, much bigger. Nothing has changed. They're bigger than their living counterparts. Fossils show us the flood story in the Bible is the best explanation for the billions of fossils that are found. God judged his world once. He's coming to do it again. You'll die one day. Get ready. Sorry, baby, you can't have fossils as a pacifier to help you believe in evolution. I don't know how you can't see the amazing design in nature and say, wow, somebody must have designed that. How does the lizard have things on suction cups on his feet? He can climb up a glass. Well, you stick it on, okay, but how do you get it off? It's amazing the way they peel it off as they walk right up the glass window. Study the foot of the lizard and how they do that, okay? You believe that happened by chance. Nobody designed that. How can you guys not? What else can I say, Rex? How do I get their attention? It ought to be screaming at you. Somebody designed this. Hello. In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. In 6 days, he made it. That's what he said. And he made them male and female. You're going to die one day. We're doing this series to try to pull the pacifier out and wake you up. You can't have time. You can't have mutations. You can't have fossils. Sorry. Wayne Strickland said, I'm an atheist. I don't have time for this. Well, he found time. There's his tombstone now. Found time, didn't you, Wayne? Sad. We all will find that time. It's appointed unto man once to die. God's not willing that any should perish. He wants you to come to heaven. Whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have eternal life. Whosoever believeth in him should not perish, but have everlasting life. What else could God do? He wrote a book and thousands of people died so you could hold a copy of it. Preserved his book. He came down himself and became a man and let them kill him. He really wants you to come to heaven. If you'll believe, you'll be saved. I said, Lord, I'll take it. 54 years ago, I gave my heart to the Lord. With the heart, man believeth unto righteousness. With the mouth, confession is made to salvation. Salvation is simple. Whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Okay. Any questions or comments? You can call me if you want me to talk to you about getting saved over the phone. I do this all the time. 855-BIG-DINO, extension 3. I'll be honored to talk to you. If you want me to keep it private, I will. Nobody will know unless you tell me I can tell others about it. Hey, look, Brother Hovind, I want to make sure I'm going to heaven. I'll do that. Okay. Any questions or comments here from the folks? None? So we got to get rid of the passies. Let's see. I got to get some more. I got something labeled time and more time. I guess we need some more pacifiers. Label them. You can't have. We're going to pull all the pacifiers out. You atheists, go ahead and cry. Go ahead and start crying. All right. See you tomorrow. Bye.